Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about my personal ranking of all the Dead by Daylight modes and modifiers that they have presented this year alone. I'm not sure they've done anything before this year, but let's just keep it organized. So I'm going to be talking about all of the modes, what I liked, what I didn't like, where I placed them in my personal top. So let's get into it. But wait, before we get into that, make sure that you're subscribed and make sure that you keep all of the notifications open, like the bell rang and, you know, all that thing. And yes, I know I look crazy because I am wearing my Lara Croft cosplay because she dropped in Dead by Daylight and nothing's been the same since. Let's get into it. I'm going to be ranking these modes starting with the one that I liked the least and then all the way up until the one that I loved the most. Before we jump into the fact of it all, I just want to say quickly that we're doing this also before the 2v8 mode that we have been asking for forever is coming to Dead by Daylight. If you didn't know, or if you missed the live stream that happened today, DBD announced that the 2v8 mode is coming to Dead by Daylight on the 25th of July. Just to get ready, we're going to be going down memory lane and we're going to talk a little bit about things. I know this may be a little bit tense and out there and a little bit like that, but I just did not like the lights out mode. I did not. It was just a for me. I think is the one mode that I played the least. I hated the fact that we were so limited visually. Sure, it was spooky. It was scary. It was jumpy for like 2 games. And then it was getting too frustrating because you couldn't see where things were. You couldn't see where you were going. And it was just very killer-sided like that. Because killers also didn't have tear radius, didn't have, you know, red light and all that. So I really hated that. I didn't like it at all. I think I would have preferred if they maybe gave like some sort of a spotlight for the survivors. I think I would have loved that. It would have made it so that you could navigate the maps easily. Even though you kind of had an idea of like where things were on the maps, it was still very, very hard to coordinate yourself, let alone see where everyone else is, especially the killer. A lot of people talked about how the lights out mode might have something to do with Alan Wake because it was released around the time when the chapter came out. And people implied that flashlights are going to play a huge role in it, and they didn't. So I feel like, sure, yes, we build up our hopes ourselves. No one hinted at this, but it was, you know, they sort of hinted at the fact that they might have something to do with each other, the chapter for Alan Wake and the lights out mode. Like, it was inspired by Alan Wake and the story and all that, and we all know how he's, you know, with the flashlight and all that. So everybody sort of expected flashlights to play a huge role, but they didn't. I would have loved that. I would have loved to be able to pick up a flashlight and have unlimited uses on it, and not be able to blind the killer, just to use it to go, you know, from one place to another. I would have loved that. The idea was great. The execution was, yeah. So lights out, unfortunately, is going to be on the 3rd place. Wah, wah, wah. Moving on. Here, I was very, very surprised by this modifier because I did not expect to like it. But yeah, number 2 is going to be My Little Oni. Nobody saw My Little Oni coming. It was like, hit us sideways, but it was so much fun. It was so much fun. The only thing that placed this one on the 2nd spot instead of the 1st one was the fact that matches were very, very short. But you see, it was like a downside, but also like an upside. Because I loved it, but I also hated it because of that reason. I don't know if that makes sense. I like super fast-paced games, super fast-paced trials. I like things that are like moving constantly. I hate... my patience is not my strongest suit. Let's just put it out there. So I hate things that unfold over a long period of time. I want to see results and I want to see them now. So that's what I loved about My Little Oni. So for those of you that have been here for a while, or those of you that are already part of my community for a bit, you know that I do not touch killer. I used to be a killer main. I main nurse, I main pig, whatever. Recently though, I haven't played killer because I feel like life is too short to play killer, if that makes sense. Whatever. I just know I'm going to like find survivors like me, and I'm gonna hate my experience. But again, that's just something super subjective. You guys don't have to think like me. That's just like why I don't play killer. I just like to do open lobbies and play with my viewers and stuff like that. It's just very fun. It's a bonding situation. Anyway, My Little Oni actually made me enjoy killer. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. Are you kidding me? I loved it. Like at first, it was so chaotic because you would see a huge Oni just like walking on the map. It was like the craziest thing I've seen in my life. It was so fun. It was so ridiculous. It was so absurd. I loved it. And I love the fact that they kind of tapped into their more unserious side with this one, from the name to the execution to everything. I loved it. It was so unserious and it was so much fun because of it. One thing that I loved about the survivors, all of the female survivors that I've played, Kate, Elodie, Michaela, Sable, everyone was so beautiful. Like the hair was giving Bratz realness. They were looking like dolls. Even Jeff. Like Jeff was like freaking amazing. Are you kidding me? I've been wanting for that type of hair to come to Dead by Daylight for the longest time. And now with the rift that opened up earlier this week, Elodie actually has a cosmetic in the rift that has hair similar to the one from My Little Oni. And I'm so excited. So excited. So excited. It's the best thing ever. I love it. I guess one other thing that I kind of deducted from My Little Oni was the fact that he couldn't use cosmetics. Everybody was locked onto their default cosmetics. So, for example, Oni has an Attack on Titan skin. Imagine if you could use the Attack on Titan skin in My Little Oni. Okay, like I would have loved that. And yeah, like the choices were very limited. And I'm also kind of sad that they haven't really talked about it yet. I mean, everybody's talking about how Chaos Shuffle is going to come back, or like the 2v8 mode is going to, you know, maybe stay permanent, maybe, you know, do crazy things. So yeah, My Little Oni is not really getting a lot of like talk. And I don't know why, because it was really fun. I loved it. It was great. Yeah, I loved it. It was fun. I wish they're going to bring it back again. And that's number 2. And now, the one, the only, the best modifier they've done so far is, drum rolls please, Chaos Shuffle. I loved Chaos Shuffle. I loved Chaos Shuffle so much that I feel like if they're going to make this into a permanent modifier, I wouldn't play DBD regularly. I wouldn't play regular DBD at all anymore. Like, I loved it that much. And it's been so much fun not going against the same meta, not having, you know, the same build over and over and over and over again. Having that sort of randomness and uncertainty kind of added a feel that I can't even describe. It was so great. Because if you're having a setup build from the get-go, whenever you're stepping into a match, you're kind of having an idea of like what you're going to do, how you're going to plan ahead. You kind of know which way the game should go. But with this, you could have, I don't know, self-care no mither. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's insane. Like, I loved it so much. And it was also refreshing because you would go against different perks that you haven't seen before on both Killer and Survivor. And people would also open up to a variety of perks, things that they haven't even thought of trying. People have discovered so many perks with the Chaos Shuffle that they didn't even know about, or they've heard about, but they didn't have the courage to try yet. And just because it landed in their build just randomly with Chaos Shuffle, now they made it part of their meta build, of their go-to build, of whatever you want to call it. So, I don't know, it was like the best thing ever. I've been having so much fun. Everybody's being so positive about Chaos Shuffle. And I really hope that they're going to make it into a permanent thing because it deserves to be there. Because with how many chapters we're getting per year, with how many perks that are being added into the game per year, Chaos Shuffle would never become stale. Ever. Ever! And I made an entire video on Chaos Shuffle, which has sparked some controversy. I talked about all the things that I've hated about it, which was none. That was just a bait a bait video and title and thumbnail, and it worked, but whatever, we're not going to talk about that. What I would have loved to see was maybe something else added into the chaos shuffle modifier. I would have loved to see maybe cosmetics randomized, or add-ons or items, or maybe have it 1 month add-ons that are shuffled, and then another one that are perks, and another one that are items. I don't know, you know, things like that. I would love to see this mode thrive and flourish and just become permanent. I miss it so much. I love this. This is my ride or die, my absolute best chaos shuffle modifier. As I said in the beginning, I am working on this top because Dead by Daylight has had a live stream in which they've talked in depth about the 2v8 modifier, the 2v8 mode, and you're going to notice that in my top 3 best and worst modifier that Dead by Daylight has done, we talked about modifiers and not modes. So even though they're not quite the same, I feel like they're just that splash of color, that wild card that Dead by Daylight is adding. So I thought it was very nice to talk about, you know, the modifiers that they've done in the past to welcome the 2v8 in Dead by Daylight. I'm super excited about it. I cannot wait to see how that's going to unfold. We've seen a sneak peek in the live stream that they've done. They've also talked about all the categories that survivors are going to be split into. They've talked about how the killer's powers are going to go. So I'm going to also briefly touch up on that. The 2v8 mode is coming to Dead by Daylight on the 25th of July. So mark your calendars, you know, set up your memos, do all that because you're not going to want to miss it. It's only going to be here until the 8th of August. So please get on that. All of survivors are going to be available to play. They're going to have to be split into categories. We're gonna have like a bunch of them, and they're all going to do different things. Killers are going to have specific powers instead of like their regular ones. For killers, however, only the first 5 original ones are going to be available to play. That means Trapper, Wraith, Billy, Nurse, and Huntress. So we're going to have plenty of options there, a lot of variety to to mix and match. Like I've seen in the little snippet someone playing Trapper with Huntress, and when survivors would step into a trap, the Huntress would snipe them. It was wild. Okay, like I'm expecting the same level of chaos like for Chaos Shuffle. I just hope people are not going to take advantage of this and try to sweat it out too much. I hope that they're going to fall into the fun and exciting part of it. Even Dead by Daylight themselves said that this is supposed to be something fun, something lighthearted, and not something to be taken too seriously, because obviously it's crazy. It's absurd to think about it. There's 13 generators, 20 chests, 3 exit gates, 2 hatches. It's ridiculous, I'm telling you. But yeah, I love it. And there's also only 5 maps that we're going to be playing on, and those 5 maps, they have an unusual size. They're much bigger. So you're going to see how crazy that's gonna be. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. It's going to be so much fun. All right, then. I'm going to leave you now. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Let me know what is your top 3 modifiers in Dead by Daylight so far. I'm looking forward to hear what do you guys think about all the modifiers that we have had, and about what expectations you have about the 2v8 mode that's coming on the 25th of July. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys in the comments.